Imagine that there's a hidden secret right under your nose, something so close that you pass by it every day, but which may be silently sabotaging all your financial and spiritual prosperity. Think about this. What if I told you that the environment where you live, rest, and pray could be creating invisible barriers between you and the blessings God has prepared for your life? Have you ever stopped to consider that maybe it's not just your mindset or your actions that are blocking your wealth, but also the very physical space where you dwell? What if your house, which should be a sanctuary of peace and abundance, were unconsciously repelling the prosperity you so desperately seek? Today, here on Daily Prayer, we're going to unveil a profound spiritual truth that connects your home's physical environment with the flow of financial blessings in your life. And pay attention, what you're going to discover by the end may completely revolutionize not only your financial situation, but the entire spiritual atmosphere of your home. Because the most transformative revelation will come last, and it will show how small changes in your house can unlock torrents of prosperity that have been trapped for years. Welcome to Daily Prayer, a sacred place of prayer, faith, and daily inspiration, created especially so you never walk alone on your spiritual journey. Here we explore the deepest mysteries of faith and reveal how to apply divine wisdom to every aspect of your practical life. If you're feeling that this content can transform your reality, subscribe now to the Daily Prayer channel. Leave your like to strengthen our faith community. Comment about your personal experience with financial blockages. And share this video with someone who needs to hear this revealing message. Because what you're going to learn today may be exactly the key that was missing to open the floodgates of abundance in your life. Have you ever noticed how some houses seem to radiate an energy of prosperity and peace, while others, even being beautiful and organized, seem to carry an inexplicable weight? There's a deep spiritual reason for this, and it goes far beyond decoration or physical cleanliness. We're talking about spiritual principles that most Christians are completely unaware of, but which are clearly established in God's Word. When God gave detailed instructions for building the tabernacle and later the temple, He wasn't just concerned with the functionality of the space. Every detail, every material, every positioning had a specific spiritual purpose. Similarly, your house is not just physical shelter. It's a spiritual environment that can either be aligned with God's blessings or create resistance to them. Let me tell you about a family I met. They were dedicated Christians, faithful tithers, honest workers, but couldn't break out of a cycle of financial difficulties. For years, they prayed and sought God, but doors always seemed to close. Until one day, during a pastoral visit, the pastor noticed something no one had perceived before. The house was filled with objects that unconsciously sent messages of scarcity and limitation. Pictures with desolate landscapes, broken furniture that was never repaired, dead plants that remained in pots, overdue bills displayed on the refrigerator, and a general atmosphere of making do with what we have. The pastor, with spiritual wisdom, explained that our house is an external reflection of our internal world, and also a creator of that internal world. When they began making specific changes, following biblical principles about abundance and divine order, something extraordinary happened. In 3 months, the husband received an unexpected promotion. The wife got a part-time job she had always desired, and financial opportunities began arising in surprising ways. But what exactly was the connection? Why did changes in the physical environment result in such dramatic financial transformations? The answer lies in something few Christians understand. The house is one of the main environments where our faith is formed and strengthened or weakened and limited. Every day, when you wake up and look around you, your subconscious is receiving thousands of messages about abundance or scarcity, order or chaos, hope or resignation. If the first thing you see when opening your eyes are overdue bills on the nightstand, broken furniture, disorganization, and objects that carry memories of difficulties, your spirit is being constantly programmed to operate at the frequency of limitation. On the other hand, When your house reflects order, beauty, gratitude, and expectation of blessings, your heart naturally aligns with the abundance God desires to pour over your life. We're not talking about luxury or ostentation, but about an atmosphere that honors God and declares your trust in divine goodness. The Bible teaches us that God is a God of order. In the book of Genesis, we see how He created everything with perfect organization and purpose. And when we observe the tabernacle described in Exodus, we discover that every detail was carefully planned to create an environment where divine presence could dwell fully. The same principle applies to your house. It can become a place where God's presence and blessings flow freely, or it can become an environment that unconsciously resists this manifestation. Let me reveal 5 specific signs that your house may be blocking your prosperity, and more importantly, how to transform each one today. The first sign is what I call visual scarcity syndrome. Look around you right now. What do your eyes see first when you enter the main rooms of your house? If the answer includes scattered overdue bills, broken furniture, objects that no longer work, or a general atmosphere of lack of resources to improve, your house is constantly sending messages of limitation to your subconscious. Dr. Bruce Lipton, renowned cellular biologist, discovered that our environment directly influences our gene expression. When we apply this to the spiritual aspect, we understand that a scarcity environment activates the spiritual genes of limitation, while an abundance environment activates the spiritual genes of prosperity. Your house is literally programming your mind and spirit to operate in scarcity or abundance. The transformation is simple but powerful. Immediately remove everything that represents financial problems from sight. Store bills in organized drawers. Fix or discard broken objects. Replace desolate images with pictures that inspire hope and gratitude. If you can't buy something new, make it yourself. A vase with flowers from the garden, a Bible verse written by hand on beautiful paper, a photo of a happy family moment. The important thing is that your eyes see signs of abundant life, not scarce survival. The second sign is energetic stagnation. Have you ever entered houses where the air seems heavy even though they're clean? This happens when the environment doesn't have constant energetic renewal. In biblical tradition, we see the importance of fresh air and circulation. The Holy Spirit Himself is compared to the wind that blows where it will. When your house has stagnant air, stagnant energy, always closed curtains, and little natural light entry, you're creating an environment where blessings also become stagnant. The solution is revolutionary. Every day, for at least 30 minutes, open doors and windows to allow complete air renewal. Let natural light enter abundantly. Don't be afraid to brighten your house. Darkness may seem cozy, but abundant light attracts abundance in all areas. While doing this, pray and declare that you're opening the doors and windows of your house so God's blessings can enter freely. The third sign is unconscious altars of worry. You may not realize it, but you've probably created altars dedicated to your financial worries. That drawer full of overdue bills has become an altar of anxiety. That pile of papers about money problems on the table has become an altar of stress. Every time you look at these altars, you're feeding the energy of worry instead of the energy of faith. Jesus said clearly, "Therefore do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear." When you maintain altars of worry in your house, you're constantly feeding the anxiety Jesus guided us to avoid. The transformation is to create altars of gratitude in place of altars of worry. Choose a place in your house to be your altar of gratitude. It can be a small table, a shelf, or even a corner of the dresser. Place there a Bible, a candle, a written list of blessings you've already received, and a list of blessings you're waiting for with faith. Every day, spend a few minutes at this altar thanking God and declaring your trust in divine providence. The fourth sign is toxic memories of the past. Many people keep objects in their homes that carry memories of difficult periods, problematic relationships, or financial failures. That letter from an old debt that's already been paid, but is still kept just in case. Gifts from people who brought pain to your life. Objects that constantly remind you of when things were more difficult. The Apostle Paul teaches us, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead. I press on toward the goal. Your house should reflect this mentality. It doesn't mean you'll forget the lessons learned, but that you won't maintain monuments to your failures and difficulties. Do a deep spiritual cleaning. Remove or donate objects that carry negative memories. Replace them with items that represent hope, growth, and God's promises for your future. If something has positive sentimental value but also carries pain, pray over the object and reframe its presence in your house. The fifth sign is the absence of what I call visual declarations of faith. How many churches have you visited that had inspiring verses on the walls, symbols of hope, and an atmosphere that immediately elevated your faith? Your house should have the same effect on you and your family. If your walls are too neutral, if there's nothing that visually declares your trust in God and His promises of prosperity, you're missing a powerful opportunity for positive spiritual programming. Now I'm going to reveal the practical method that has transformed the financial lives of thousands of Christians around the world. It's what I call the protocol of 7 sacred transformations, based on biblical principles of creation and restoration. Each transformation corresponds to a day of God's creative week, and when applied in your house, they realign your environment with the frequencies of divine abundance. The first transformation is the purification of sacred space. Just as God separated light from darkness on the first day, you're going to separate your house from elements that represent financial darkness. Dedicate an entire day to deep cleaning, but not just physical. While cleaning, declare aloud, I purify this house of all energy of scarcity and limitation. I consecrate this environment to receive God's abundant blessings. During this cleaning, pay special attention to corners where dust accumulates, under furniture, and in places rarely touched. Accumulated dust represents stagnant energy, and when you remove it with prayer and intention, you're literally removing the energetic blockages that prevent prosperity flow. Use this powerful prayer. Lord, just as I remove this physical dirt, also remove all spiritual dirt that prevents your blessings from reaching my life. The second transformation is the creation of abundance atmosphere. On the second day, God created the firmament and separated the waters. You're going to create an atmosphere in your house that breathes abundance. This means introducing elements that stimulate all 5 senses positively. Aromas that make you feel prosperous. It can be gentle incense, fresh flowers, or even the smell of homemade bread. Sounds that elevate your vibration. Soft instrumental music, nature sounds, or spiritual chants playing quietly during the day. For touch, make sure the textures in your house are pleasant. It doesn't need to be expensive, but it needs to be welcoming. A soft blanket, comfortable pillows, rugs that are pleasant to step on barefoot. For sight, introduce colors that represent life and abundance. Greens from plants, discreet golds. Blues that transmit peace. For taste, always keep something healthy and tasty available. Fresh fruits, pure water, something that represents that there's abundance of food in your house. The third transformation is the strategic positioning of faith symbols. On the third day, God made vegetation and fruit trees appear. You're going to strategically position symbols in your house that represent growth and spiritual fruitfulness. Place living plants at strategic points, especially near the main entrance and in the area where you have your meals. Plants represent growing life and natural abundance. Position an open Bible at a verse about prosperity in a visible location in the main room. Change the verse each week, but always maintain one that speaks about God's promises for your financial life. Create what I call the gratitude corner, a small but visible space where you place photos of prosperous moments in your life. Thank you letters you've received or symbols of achievements you've reached with God's help. The fourth transformation is prosperity illumination. On the fourth day, God created the lights to govern day and night. You're going to transform your house's lighting so it always communicates abundance, not scarcity. Burned out bulbs represent lost opportunities. Replace them all immediately. Very dark environments represent lack of clarity about the future. Introduce more light sources, even if they're small. Natural light is especially powerful. Keep curtains open during the day whenever possible. If privacy is a problem, use curtains that filter but don't completely block light. At night, avoid leaving the house completely dark. A soft light in the main room or hallway communicates that you're not afraid of abundance, that you're always prepared to receive visitors and opportunities. The fifth transformation is the activation of command centers. On the fifth day, God created the living beings of the waters and birds. You're going to activate the command centers of your house, the places where important decisions are made. Your dining table, your work table at home, your bedside, and especially your house's main entrance. At the table where you eat, never leave bills or financial problems. This is a sacred place of nourishment and should communicate abundance and gratitude. Pray before each meal, thanking not only for food, but declaring that just as God provides food, He also provides all your other needs. At your work table, keep only projects that represent growth and opportunities, never unsolvable problems. Your house's main entrance is especially important. It's where prosperity energy enters. Keep it always clean, well-lit and free of obstacles. Place something beautiful and welcoming near the door, a plant, a beautiful rug, or a small, inspiring picture. This communicates that your house is open to receive blessings. The sixth transformation is the humanization of abundant space. On the sixth day, God created man. You're going to ensure your house reflects human dignity and the value God places on you. This means that, regardless of your current financial limitations, your house should communicate that you see yourself as a son or daughter of the King of the universe. It doesn't need to be luxurious, but it needs to be dignified. Clean and arranged bedding, even if simple. Organized dishes, even if not expensive. A clean mirror where you can see yourself and declare that you're prosperous, even if you haven't seen complete manifestation yet. Always maintain one area of the house especially tidy. Even if the rest is in the process of organization, have at least one corner that demonstrates the abundant standard you're creating. The moment has come for the most powerful revelation I promised from the beginning. The seventh transformation is so profound, it can change not only your financial situation, but the entire spiritual atmosphere of your family for generations. It's what I call the consecration of abundant rest, based on the seventh day, when God rested and contemplated everything He had created, declaring that it was very good. This final transformation will reveal why so many Christians work tirelessly, pray fervently, but continue living in financial limitation. The secret lies in understanding that true prosperity doesn't come only from effort, but from the ability to rest with faith in divine provision. Your house needs to have a sacred space dedicated to confident rest, where you declare that God is your provider even when you're doing nothing. Create in your house what I call the sanctuary of prosperous rest. It can be your bedroom, a specific armchair in the living room, or even a corner of the garden. The important thing is that it's a place where you go daily to rest, not in passivity, but in active confidence that God is working in your favor while you rest. Decorate this space with elements that communicate peace and abundance. A comfortable cushion, a soft blanket, maybe a small water fountain, or an especially beautiful plant. Every day, spend at least 15 minutes in this sanctuary declaring aloud, I rest in the certainty that God is preparing abundant blessings for my life. While I rest, He works. While I sleep, He provides. While I pray, He opens doors that no man can close. This practice breaks the mentality of constant struggle that blocks reception of divine blessings. But here's the most surprising revelation of all. Your house is not just a reflection of your current prosperity, it's a prophet of the prosperity that's coming. When you arrange your house as if you were already prosperous, when you decorate it with faith in the abundant future God has for you, When you keep it prepared to receive blessings that haven't arrived yet, you're practicing prophetic faith. Let me tell you about Sarah, a widow who participated in one of our residential transformation orientations. She lived on a very small pension in a house that reflected exactly her situation. Old furniture, dark environments, a general atmosphere of doing the best possible with little. When she began applying these principles, something extraordinary happened. First, she reorganized the house as if she were expecting prosperity. She set the dining table as if she were going to receive important visitors. She organized the closet as if she had abundant clothes. She decorated the living room as if she were going to receive good financial news. In 6 months, she received an unexpected inheritance from a distant aunt she didn't even know existed, got a part-time job she loved, and discovered she was entitled to a benefit she didn't know she could receive. The connection wasn't coincidence. When you prepare your house for abundance, you're prophetically declaring that you believe in God's promises, and God honors this preparative faith. As it's written, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Now let me reveal the most powerful technique of all, the nightly declaration ritual. Every night before sleeping, take a slow walk through your house, thanking God for each environment and declaring prosperity over it. In the kitchen, Lord, bless this place where we nourish ourselves. May abundant and healthy food never be lacking in this house. In the living room, may this be a place of joy, fellowship, and reception of good financial news. In the bedroom, may my dreams be prosperous, and may I wake up every day with divine inspirations to increase my income. In the bathroom, may I cleanse myself of all scarcity mentality and dress every day with abundance mentality. At the entrance, may this door constantly open for opportunities sent by God. This nightly ritual programs your subconscious to operate in prosperity even while you sleep, and creates a powerful spiritual atmosphere that attracts divine blessings. If you've watched this far, say in the comments, "My house prophesies my prosperity." I want to see how many people are ready to make this truth a reality in their lives. But remember, these transformations aren't magical, they're spiritual. They work because they align your physical environment with your faith, creating a powerful agreement between what you declare with your mouth and what you live daily. When there's this agreement, God's promises find fertile ground to manifest. The last secret I want to share is this. Your transformed house becomes a center of attraction for prosperous people and abundant opportunities. When you create an environment that breathes faith, hope, and abundance, you naturally attract people who operate at the same frequency. And it's these connections that often become bridges to the greatest financial blessings of your life. Start today. Don't wait to have money to transform your house. Use what you have, reorganize what you already possess. Glean with prayer, decorate with faith, and declare with authority that your house is a prosperous sanctuary where God's blessings are welcome and abundant. If this message deeply touched your heart, if you feel it's time to align your physical environment with your prayers and declarations of faith, I invite you to subscribe to the Daily Prayer channel right now. Leave your like to strengthen our community of prosperous Christians. Share this video with someone who needs to transform their home's financial atmosphere. Click now on the videos that will appear on your screen. One of them will reveal the 7 most powerful prayers to attract financial prosperity, and the other will show how to transform your morning routine into a magnet for abundant opportunities. These are the essential next steps in your prosperous transformation journey. Remember, God didn't create you to live in scarcity. He prepared an abundant life for you, and your house can be the environment where this abundance manifests with power. May the Lord greatly bless your house and family with overflowing prosperity.